Just after 5 o'clock, starting to snow. It's been snowing for a while, starting to get a little harder. I'm gonna head in. We'll be back out here tomorrow. Enjoy this video we made for you guys today. Well, Dad's already off to the races here. I was hoping I'd get to cut that big one, but when he pulled in the gate, he drove straight to it. And I mean, he jumped out and away he went. So, it's always kind of a race anymore to see who gets to cut the bigger, better trees. I still get a lot of enjoyment out of watching Dad cut them, but I myself also get some enjoyment out of cutting them. Anyway, today, brought this guy over. Got our long bar on. That way we don't have the same kind of trouble we had yesterday with not getting the heartwood cut out. I'm wondering if Dad ain't gonna need it for that tree, because that's a beast right there. Impatient person. We're going to bring this big tree down right now. We're going to give it a push. You guys want to see down low. See if I can well, that's all right. That's about as low as you're gonna see. Here we go. That's a big tree. Big tree, big tree. We're going to go up here. I've been working on this one up here. The saw is sitting out here, as you can see. I need to give this thing a little push to kind of get it weaseled around where I can work it up a little better. Still got enough top keeping it up in the air, but I think I've got enough of a trim now we can kind of sweep it around. So let's see. Looking better. On the ground we go. So today, I brought the long bar. I've got a 661 that I keep the long bar on all the time. I usually just keep that saw in a little room in my garage. I keep all my supplies out there, 2-stroke mix, bar and chain oil chain, extra saws. I've got 2 brand new 661s I keep out there. Just, I don't use them. I'll use them one of these days, but I don't need them now. I always like to have extra stuff. Anyway, this tree right here, let's get flipped around real quick. So this tree right here, this ornery devil, I'm kind of wondering how it's going to cut. You can see these old lightning seams right here. Now, we've been pretty fortunate so far on some of these things, cutting better than anticipated. But this guy's just been, he's been worked over in his time. He's got a lot of old scars. Got a bad scar here that's kind of healed over. Goes deep right there. Some dead limbs up in the top. So, anytime you're dealing with trees like this, it's always a crapshoot. It really is. Because it's, you know, just like the big tree from yesterday, I would have never dreamed it would have cut as good as it did. I wouldn't have guessed that in a million years. Now this tree here, where I think, yeah, this tree might cut pretty good. we might punch in and it might just be a shell. You never know. You never know how these things are going to cut. One thing about it though, showing all the dead limbs, all the telltale sign it's got on it, this tree is not going to get any better. It's definitely on the downhill side of its life cycle. It's just an accident waiting to happen out here, this open area. That's why it's prone to lightning. It's basically just like a lightning rod up here on this mound, along with all these other, well, where there were other trees, there's still some out there. But yeah, they've just been worked over with lightning, wind. I've cleaned a lot of branches up around these trees, just like this one here. I come up with the skid steer and swept up around it prior to cutting. Now, I'm going to bring this one down. I don't think I would need the long bar for this. I think my 25 would probably be sufficient, but it would be close. And the way it's been here yesterday and today, I don't want to take a chance with it being close. I want to know for sure. So we'll use the extra 7 inches giggity from that 32-inch bar there versus my 25. And that will be more than enough to punch all the way through. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to mount my phone on my little suction cup device there on the window of the skid steer. That way you guys can watch me cut from over there and see the fall. So let's take a look at this thing. See right there in the top, she's in pretty bad shape. That old lightning scar there. Pretty bad shape. And I noticed in the butt, which this thing will be a lot of fun to get on the ground. That's another problem about these big bushy top things. They want to do one of these numbers. So right there's where that big strike come down. A little bit of a shake ring starting in the heart there. Ignore that, because that's where I've come in crooked. Again, we've got pretty lucky, and the tree's not been terrible, but like I said, and that's not even on the main strike here, or the big, ugly, nasty strike anyway. Big tree. Definitely needed to come down. I know there's a lot of people that don't like to see the big old growth stuff come down, but honestly, guys, it is. They're like anything. They've got a life expectancy, just like any living thing. It's definitely a lot of trimming, but as you can see, flip you around. When you get done trimming, you can just run the grapple on the skid steer. Nice, tight, clean piles. I'm so happy with the way this looks. I mean, I really am. I know I'm kind of, tooting my own horn there, but you know what? Beep, beep. That looks really good out through there where those trees were. You can barely just see rises in the ground where the stumps are because everything's been cut flush. It really looks good here. Now, for the first time in my life, probably the last time in my life, we're going to cut a job where the trees are, honestly, I think we're going to average close to 1,000 board foot a tree. With as much overage as there is on these big trees and as many big trees as there are, I really think this job will average over 1,000 board foot of walnut tree. That's just unheard of. It's that big one Dad cut this morning. Some pretty rings in it, doesn't it? We cut it at 10 foot. It's just picture perfect 10. It's not double hearted. That's why we didn't make it a 12, because here, if we'd try to get the 2 extra foot, we'd have had a double hearted piece and that'd have knocked it out of a high dollar bracket. But we did make a good 6 foot log, what we call kind of a gun log. They're almost a thing of the past, but it's just what we call them. Tabletop, gun log, whatever you want to call it. The reason we made that 6 foot piece is because I come in here and cut this off, because we'll get a piece out of this limb. And then there's a good 10 foot piece here before it crotches off again. If we can get over here and see that, maybe. I don't know what you can see. I'm really not for sure what the footage will be on this tree. I'm thinking probably 1,400 or 1,500. Like Dad said this morning, Dad's cut 2 trees and he burned 3 tanks of gas cutting 2 trees. That's saying something, saying you got some big timber right there. And of course, that thing Dad's cutting right now is no little tree. I've been working up treetops. I've burnt 2 tanks of gas just working up treetops. See the 333s over there, kind of where I left off. I kind of hopped off that and come over here because I wanted to see how big this tree was going to be when we cut it off, and we haven't even measured it yet. Now, what I like to do a lot of times when I'm piling tops is where the stump is, we'll try to put that brush pile right on top of that stump. That way when they go to burn it, it'll help kind of burn that stump out a little bit. Which our stump's right here in front of us. See there, I'm trying to look through the camera a little bit. I've got it mounted in a funny place today, kind of off to my side, where you guys can see a little bit better. They can be a bear cat, stacking up sometimes. as compact as I can. That way the brush pile is really as small as I can get it tight. Break it up with smaller stuff. Just kind of use the grapple like an alligator here to chomp these things down. Definitely want to be careful doing that. You don't want a stick to come back, get into your windows. The one thing I was most disappointed with this Deere skid steer is the Lexan window, or bulletproof glass, whatever, they've got a fancy name for it. It did not come standard like it did on the 299 Caterpillar. That was an option that I didn't know about. I just assumed it did come standard on the bigger machine like this. So I do have a glass door, so I try to be extra careful with it. Put your bigger stuff on top there to help put weight on that smaller stuff. Hey guys, if you like what you see, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel for all of our latest videos.